Hello everyone. In this session, let's discuss about promises in JavaScript. So everything about promises from the scratch with the help of different examples we are going to understand. Okay. So these are the 7 examples I'm going to implement into our today's session. If you understand these 7 examples, then promises, async await, keywords, synchronous, asynchronous programming, all these concepts will be clear to you. Okay. So first we are going to understand what is synchronous programming. See this file, sync1.js. This we are going to understand. Then we will understand what is asynchronous programming. I have created one file with the name async2.js because this is the second example which we are going to execute. Next, we will understand what is callback function. Next, fourth, we will understand fetch and how we can create custom promises. Fifth, how we can return promises from the function. Sixth, promise chaining we are going to achieve. And finally, seventh, async and await keywords in JavaScript we are going to understand. Okay. So as I have told about promises from the scratch we are going to cover. Means first we will understand why promises are required in JavaScript. Okay. So let's get started. So we'll move towards the VS Code. This is our 12th session of JavaScript. So I have created one folder with the name session 12. Okay. Now inside this, let's create first file. Right click, create a new file, sync1.js. Okay. And this async I'm going to rename. I have created actually one more file with the name async2.js. Okay. So first let's understand what is synchronous programming and then we will discuss about asynchronous programming. Okay. So now in synchronous programming, let's say I have written some task. This is my task 1. Okay. Task 1. This task can be anything. As of now, I have written one simple console statement. Let's say you have implemented one big function and you have called that function. So it should execute that complete function, right? So that function will become your one task. Okay. Here my task is just printing this task 1 on console. That's all. Okay. Let's say I have one more task, task 2. So here I'll just write this is my task 2. Okay, understood. Let's give one more task, console.log. This is my task 3. Okay. So if we execute this code, what will be the output? In which sequence this complete code will be executed? Let's see. So I'll go to the terminal. Currently, I am present in the folder session 12. So let's go inside that folder. Change the directory. What is the folder name? Let me just check it out. It is session 12. Okay. So session 12. Okay. So node, what is our file name? sync1.js. We'll execute it. So you can check our output is task 1, task 2 and task 3 here. So now here what is synchronous programming that we need to understand. In synchronous programming, first control will come to your task 1, instruction number 1. It will execute the complete task. It will finish the execution for task 1. Then only it will start executing task 2. Let's say task 2 is taking total 2 seconds to finish the execution. Then control will wait there only. Okay, it won't jump to the next task. It will wait there only. Once task 2 execution finished, then control will jump to task 3. This is what we call it as a synchronous programming. Current task you have to completely execute. Once you finish, then only you are allowed to jump to the next task. Otherwise, you have to block execution of further task. One more time, if your task 1 is taking more time to execute, then what will happen? Execution of other task will be blocked. That's what we call it as a synchronous programming. Okay. So now if synchronous programming is there, then why do we need asynchronous programming, or what is asynchronous programming that we need to understand? Okay. So always this synchronous programming is not good. What are the drawbacks of synchronous programming? Let's understand. Okay. So this is the definition of synchronous programming. We already have understood. Let's go through it. Synchronous programming means tasks are executed one after another. Yes. And the next task must wait for the previous task to finish the execution. So next task, task 2, will wait for task 1 to finish the execution. Then only task 2 will be executed. That's why in the output also we got task 1, task 2 and task 3. Okay. So now always this synchronous programming is not good. Why? Let's understand through one simple example. So these are the three layers of our most of the application. Okay. Front end layer, database layer and server. Okay. So let's say at front end, I have a header and footer. I want to display some videos here on my front end, and videos are present in the database like this. So of course, I am going to send one request to fetch the data from the database. Okay. So once I send one request, this is one task only. Fetch the videos. This is one task. Let's say it is taking complete 3 seconds, and after 3 seconds, I got my all the videos over here. So what was my task 1? Send one request to fetch all the videos from the database. Fetch videos. This is my task 1. If task 1 is taking 3 seconds, other task will wait. Other execution of other task will be blocked. So after 3 seconds, I will be sending one more request to fetch the articles. So total time taken to fetch videos and articles over here is 6 seconds. Because once I send one request to fetch videos, until it will fetch all the videos, I have to block execution of further task because that is synchronous programming. So once all the videos got fetched after 3 seconds, then next task will be executed, which is nothing but fetching the articles. If fetching articles is taking again 3 seconds, it will wait there only. It won't move towards the next task. Okay. So that's why 6 seconds it will take to fetch videos and articles. This is the drawback of your synchronous programming. Okay. So I don't want to block the execution of further task. This blocking behavior I don't want. So that's why we have to move towards asynchronous programming. Okay. So this complete notes examples you will be getting in the description. Okay. So first what we understood, what is synchronous programming. So let's go through the answer. Means in the interviews, if they are asking you what is synchronous programming, so you have to answer in this way. Okay. Synchronous programming is the way of executing code line by line, where each operation must complete before the next one start. Okay. So this behavior is called as blocking behavior. This blocking behavior we don't want because it will create a delay to give complete response to you. As we have seen on front end, videos and articles are coming after 6 seconds. There is a huge delay. Correct, right? So this blocking behavior I don't want, which I am getting because of synchronous programming. Okay, so what you want? I want non-blocking behavior. So who will give non-blocking behavior? Asynchronous programming will provide you non-blocking behavior. So our next task is understanding what is asynchronous programming. Okay, so this definition I'm just going to copy. Let's understand what is asynchronous programming. File is already ready. Let's paste the notes over here. So what is asynchronous programming? Asynchronous programming allows JavaScript to start a task and continue executing other code without waiting for the task to complete. The result is handled later when the task is finished. This is called as non-blocking behavior. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Let's understand through one simple example. Okay, let's say I have written console.log task 1. Simply, if I write console.log task 1, this will provide me blocking behavior only. Correct, right? To get that non-blocking behavior, we have something called as set timeout scheduler. Okay, scheduler. This is built-in method. In this scheduler, I am going to provide one function, arrow function we will use because for set time out, as an argument, I'm providing one function. That's what we call it as a callback function. As you can check over here, callback function. And most of the times, 99% for callback functions, we use arrow function only. Okay. So this is my arrow function. This function will be executed after the delay of 2 seconds. Here, this 2000 is millisecond. Okay. So 2000 millisecond is equivalent to 2 seconds. Do remember this. So I'm saying execute this function after the delay of 2 seconds. So set timeout is a method which helps us to execute some code after certain delay. Immediately it won't be executed. After this delay, it will be executed. Okay. Now inside this function, I'm going to write console.log what task 2. Okay. I have task 2 over here. Okay. So now on the next line here, I'm going to write one normal console statement, means console.log task 3. Now we have to guess the output of this code. What is the output? See, carefully observe. Task 1 will be executed first. Okay. If it is taking more time, control will wait here only. Synchronous behavior. Okay. But set time out, this method will allow you to achieve asynchronous behavior. Means if task 2, what is your task 2? Let me just open this. Yeah. This is your task 2, this function execution. So this function will be executed after the delay of 2 seconds. So will it wait 2 seconds here only? No, it won't wait. So if delay is of 2 seconds, it will jump to the next task. It will keep this task in progress and it will jump to the next task. 2 seconds is the huge delay in programming world. So within that 2 seconds, thousands of instructions will be executed. And once 2 seconds completed, this particular code will be executed. Okay. So we'll just save this code. Let's check the output. Now I'm going to execute this file. Node, what is our file name? async2.js. So you can carefully check the output, task 1 and task 2. And after the delay, task 1, task 3, and after the delay of 2 seconds, we got task 2. Okay, one more time, let's try it out. Execute it. See, if this task is taking more time to execute, control is not waiting over there. Okay, rather control has jumped to the next instruction and it has started executing. So your set time out method is helping you to achieve non-blocking behavior. It is not at all blocking the execution because of this time delay. If this task is taking more time to execute, like 2 seconds, 2 seconds control won't wait there, control will jump to the next task. This is what we call it as a synchronous programming. As the definition I have provided over here. Okay. So in the interviews, if they are asking you what is asynchronous programming, so this is the exact definition you can use to answer, and this is the example you can provide over there. Okay. So now what will happen if we are using asynchronous programming? How we get faster response, that we need to understand. Okay. Okay. What is asynchronous programming? Everyone understood. So let's see what will happen if we are going with asynchronous programming. In asynchronous programming, what will happen? It won't wait here only until it finishes the execution. Rather, it will jump to the next task, right? This is the definition. Okay. So let's say I have sent one request to fetch all the videos from the database, and this is taking complete 3 seconds. 3 seconds, it won't wait there. Why? Because I have given this fetching videos task in set timeout. Again, I will repeat. I have given fetching videos a task in set timeout. So what set timeout will do? If the task is taking more time to complete, it won't wait there. It will keep that task in progress and it will jump to the next task, which is nothing but task 3. So in the similar way, fetching videos, if it is taking more time, it will start with fetching articles. Let's start with fetching articles. And exactly after 3 seconds, you will be getting videos, articles, both. So here, the total time taken to fetch all the videos and articles is just 3 seconds because asynchronous programming. But if you check in previous case, the total time taken to fetch videos and articles was 6 seconds. So here we got the complete response on front end just in 3 seconds. So this is what we call it as a synchronous and asynchronous programming. Okay. If you want to remember it with the help of one real time analogy, so we can go with this. Carefully observe. So what we have learned so far in synchronous programming, let's say we have some task in real world, like I have to give my clothes to the tailor to stitch it. Now tailor will take 2 days or 3 days to completely stitch my clothes and to create one beautiful dress, right? So let's say I have given my clothes to the tailor, so I have to wait there only. Let's say tailor took 1 day to stitch my dress. So one day I will sit in that tailor only, means in that particular shop, whatever it is. There only I have to sit, I have to wait. I cannot jump to the next task. So after one day, once my dress is ready, I will take that dress, output I will take, and then I will move towards the next task. Next task, let's say I have to give one order for the cake in the bakery, and they are taking more time to bake the cake, let's say one day. So one day again I have to sit there only. Once the cake is ready, I will take result of my previous task, which is my dress, then my cake, then I will move towards the next task. Let's say we have to wash some clothes at the home. So let's say washing clothes at the home is taking again some time, let's say 0.5 half day. So yes, once it is completed, done. So now the task which I have completed over here is giving clothes to the tailor to stitch it, giving order into the bakery for cake, and next washing the clothes. Three tasks were there. So in the execution process of all the three tasks, I cannot jump to the next task before the execution of previous task. Because of this synchronous behavior, I need to spend total 2.5 days to complete all the tasks. How many days? 2.5 days. But what if we are following asynchronous behavior? In asynchronous, what will happen? Let's say I have given my clothes to the tailor. Tailor is going to take one day. Doesn't matter. I will keep that task in progress. I will jump to the next task. I will give one order for the cake in the bakery. If bakery is taking one day to bake the cake, doesn't matter. I will move towards the next task and I'll start washing my clothes. So in half day, I will wash my all the clothes completely. Once one day completed, I will get my dress and my cake back. That result, I'll get it back. So in synchronous behavior, we got 2.5 days. We have to spend 2.5 days to complete three tasks. But in asynchronous behavior, within one day, all the three tasks will be completed. So we got fast response, right? So that's why we follow asynchronous programming in JavaScript. And asynchronous programming itself, we call it as a non-blocking behavior. And how to get the non-blocking behavior? By using set timeout method. Okay, by using that method, we can achieve non-blocking behavior. Okay. So yes, this is how we used to handle asynchronous tasks by using set timeout. But because of that, one major issue arose, which is nothing but callback hell. Okay. And to overcome this callback hell, only promises came into the picture. Now, what is the meaning of this? Let's understand. See, so far what we discussed that synchronous programming is not always good. We need asynchronous programming. How to achieve asynchronous programming? Using set time out. Clear? Okay, understood. So now let's move ahead. Next, we will discuss about what is callback hell. Okay, I'll create one new file. I'll give the file name as callback hell.js. Now we know that set time out we can use, right? So let's call that set time out inside one function with the name, let's say make order. Okay, make order. Okay. Now inside this make order function, I have used set time out function. Okay. Here I have given one function which will be executed after the delay of, let's say, 1 second. After the delay of 1 second. Okay. What is present inside this function? Let's say we have provided one simple console statement. Console.log order placed like this. Okay. Instead of make order, we can give the name as place order as well. So there is one function place order, and you will be getting the output order placed after 1 second delay. Really, let's try it out. Now, if I call the place order, I'll just save this code. We'll clear this. Okay. Okay. I am executing the previous file only. So I'll just write node callback hell.js. Okay. So you can check I am getting the output order placed, but after the delay of 1 second. If I give the delay of 5 seconds, 500 milliseconds means 5 seconds. And if I execute this, see, we have to wait 5 seconds. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got it order placed. Correct, right? So in the similar way, let's create few more functions which are handling asynchronous tasks. See, this is asynchronous task. What is asynchronous task? The task which takes time to complete, the task which takes time to finish execution, we call them as a asynchronous task. So here, this particular function is one task only, right? This function execution is one task. Is it asynchronous? Of course, because it is taking a time delay of 5 seconds to finish the execution. So yes, this is asynchronous task. Okay, understood. Let's create one more function with the name. This is place order. We'll create with the name confirm order. Confirm order. This is one more function. Inside this function also, I'm going to call set timeout. Set timeout accepts the callback function, or a function expression also you can provide instead of arrow function. So this is the callback function first argument. This function will be executed after the delay of, let's say, 2 seconds. Okay, understood. Now what is present in this function? Let's say I have displayed console.log order confirmed. Order confirmed. Okay, order confirmed. So first function is your place order. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Second, we have created order confirmed. So instead of order confirmed, before this order confirmed, we'll create one more function with the name make payment. Okay, make payment. Because to confirm the order, we have to make the payment, right? So set timeout. Here I'm going to provide one function, and this function will be executed after the delay of, let's say, 1 second. Okay, or 3 seconds we will give. 3 seconds. And here we will just write console.log payment received. Payment received. Okay. So if payment received, we have to confirm the order. So this is the order confirmed message. Okay. Confirm order. Sorry, task. Confirm order task. So 3 different tasks we have. First, user will place the order. Okay. So you should get the message order placed. After that, I want to receive the payment. Once payment is received, then we will confirm the order. Okay, we will confirm the order. So place order, then payment received, and then confirm order. Like this, in this sequence, function has to get executed. It's not like first you received payment and then you placed the order. No, like this I don't want. First, we have to place the order, then confirm the payment. Oh, sorry, receive the payment, then confirm the order. If it is creating a little confusion of place order, what we can do is, uh, we can just write it like this. First, we can make the payment, or it's okay. Okay, you understood, right? First, I want this particular message, then this message, and then this message. Okay, order confirmation email sent, like this I'll just write. Okay, order confirmation email sent. When order confirmation email we have to send? Once payment is received. When the payment will be received? When user will place some order first. Okay, once user will select some product, then user will place the order. Okay, here I can write items added to cart to place order. Okay, to place order, like this we can write. Now it will give more clarity. First, items will be added to the cart to place the order. Then payment will be received, and finally order confirmation mail will be sent. Okay, understood. So now let's call the functions. First, which function should I call? First, I should call place order function. Once order is placed, then we have to make the payment. So let's call make payment function. Once we successfully completed the transaction, then we have to confirm the order. Okay, confirm the order. We call the functions. Now what will be the output? Let's see the output. Let's say I have some other task also. I'll just write console.log some other task. Some other task. Like this, we will just give one message. This some other tasks are independent. They are not depend on your previous task like place order, make payment or confirm order. They are not depend. They are independent tasks. Okay. Okay. So how this code will be executed? Let's understand. I'll just execute this. See, first I got some other task. Then I got order confirmation mail sent. Then I got payment received. Then items added. So sequence, we messed up with the sequence. Functions are good to go. Logic is correct. But we messed up with the sequence. Other tasks are getting executed. Okay, good. Because if this task is taking more time to execute, why other tasks should wait? So the same is happening. If place order is taking complete 5 seconds to finish the execution, other tasks won't wait. They will be executed. If make payment is taking total 3 seconds to finish the execution, other task won't wait. Thousands of instructions will be executed in that time. Okay. But if you check the flow, execution flow is not proper, is not the way we want. Correct, right? So how to achieve the exact output? Let's understand. That's where we are going to use something called as callback hell. This is not useful, right? We cannot call the function like this. Okay, this is not useful. So now I'm going to achieve something called as callback hell. Now what is the callback hell? First, which function you want to call? First, place order function I want to call. Okay. So place order function will be called, control will go inside this function and it will display items added to the cart to place order. After how many seconds? 5 seconds. So after that 5 seconds only, which function it should call? After 5 seconds, this make payment function should be called. So what I'll do, as an argument, I'm going to pass one function like this. Carefully observe the syntax. I'm going to call make payment function. Means as an argument for place order function, I'm going to pass one callback function. See, the function which we are passing as an argument, we call it as a callback function. So this complete function will come into this variable. Let's say I have passed one parameter callback. So what will happen? This complete function will come inside this callback variable. Now I will mention after the delay of 5 seconds, okay, you are going to execute this. Okay. And once you place the order, once you add items to the cart, then which function we have to call? This callback. Oh, now what it is? So this complete function, callback function, will come into this callback variable. So when you execute this after 5 seconds, so after 5 seconds, this callback function will be called. So control will come inside this function. Inside function we called make payment. So control will go inside make payment after the delay of 5 seconds. That's what exactly we want, right? Okay, understood. Next, when you are calling make payment here, see inside this, one more time I am going to use the callback like this. Once make payment is done, after that we have to confirm the order. Confirm order like this. And make sure make payment is accepting callback now. Okay. And after the 3 second, this line will be executed, right? And after that 3 second, call the callback. What it is. This is the very tricky part of the code. Okay. So let's understand what it is. This is what we call it as a callback hell. The way I have called this function nested callbacks. This nested callbacks only, we call it as a callback hell, or we can call it as pyramid of doom. We can call it as pyramid of doom. Okay, this is called as nested callbacks. Okay, nested callbacks. Don't worry, we won't use it now. This is very tricky. Giving one callback inside another callback, this was very tricky. That's why to overcome this callback hell, to remove that pyramid of doom, we got promises. Promises got invented, which we will explore next. Okay. So now why we are calling like this? Because I want first place order function task should finish execution. If it is taking 5 seconds, so we have to wait 5 seconds there only. Okay. Once 5 seconds completed, then make payment it should execute. If make payment is taking 3 seconds to finish the execution, we have to wait there only. Once make payment is done, then confirm order function, it should execute. But if it is waiting to execute this function, fine. But it should not wait to execute other task. Why other task should wait? If place order task is taking 5 seconds to finish the execution, Yes, make payment and confirm order task should wait, but not other task. This other task, they should not wait. They should be executed immediately. That is what I want. So now if you check my output, see, I'll just clear this. I'll execute. See, other task got executed first because as I have told, by other task should wait. Other task executed. Then I got items added to the cart to place the order. Then payment received. Once payment received, order confirmation mail sent. This is what exactly output I want. Okay. So this is called as non-blocking behavior of JavaScript. If these tasks are taking more time to execute, other tasks are not waiting. They will be executed one after another. Okay. But here, if you check carefully, here we are achieving synchronous behavior. Means first place order should execute, then make payment, and then confirm order, one after another. But if these tasks are taking more time to execute, other tasks are not waiting, they got executed. This is very tricky example. Callback hell. In the name itself, hell is present. So you can imagine how advanced topic it is. Okay. So this callback hell was literally hell for the developers because we have to provide one function inside another, one function inside another. Like this, we need to call. Only three functions are present here, so three layers are present. What if we have 10 plus different functions? So 10 times we have to call one function inside another, one function inside another. Okay, so that's why to overcome the drawback of this callback hell, something called promises got introduced. So in interviews, most of the times they will ask you, why callback hell, why promises are required? So you should tell, we were having something called as callback hell. To overcome this callback hell, we got the promises. How to answer? Like this. See, callback hell is a situation where multiple asynchronous operations are nested. You can check over here. This is asynchronous operation, place order. Asynchronous operation means the operation which takes time to complete. So this operation takes 5 seconds to complete. Okay. So multiple asynchronous operations are nested. Okay. Inside callbacks, making the code complex, unreadable, and difficult to maintain. Okay. So this is why promises async await got introduced. And this is the example which we have executed just now. Place order, make payment. Okay. We call this as a pyramid of doom or callback. Other independent tasks won't wait. Okay. They will be executed immediately. This is what we want. Okay. In interviews, many times they will ask this question also. What is the question? Let's go through it. Why can't we always use only set timeout for non-blocking behavior? Why we need async, await, or promises? So let's understand about this also. See, schedulers like set timeout can make the code non-blocking. Yes, you can check. It has made the code non-blocking only. Correct, right? But they cannot handle the data flow. They cannot handle the dependencies. They cannot guarantee the execution order. Means, carefully if we observe, if we are not using callback hell, if we are calling the function like this, we have used just set timeout over here, right? Set timeout won't guarantee the execution order, means order of output. For example, place order, make payment, confirm order. In this sequence only will you get the output? No. If you execute the code, see, I'll just save this code and I'll execute. See, first you will be getting order confirmation mail sent, payment received, and after that we got some error like this callback. Okay, we have used callbacks, right? So like this we are getting the output. So that's why only set time out is not sufficient. Just a minute, I'll just uncomment this part. Okay, and we will comment this part. Only set time out is not useful. One more example I'll just give over here. See this example. Let's say we have declared one variable user. Okay, user data. In this, I have stored a name. Name is Priya. And I have age also. Okay, let's say age. Age is 28, something like this. Okay, I'll save the code. Now I have used the set timeout. Set timeout like this. Okay. This is the function which will be executed after the delay of 2 seconds. And here I am going to write console.log print the value of user data. Okay, I'll just do slight modification over here, user data. And let's not initialize it over here. We'll initialize it later. Okay. So what is present in user data as of now? It is undefined, or you can initialize it with null as well. Null is present. Now inside this callback function, what I'll do, I'll initialize user data with this object. Okay, done. So now what will happen? Carefully observe. User data is initially null. After 2 seconds, user data will get the value. Which value? This object value. And then I'm printing the user data outside of this set timeout. Now let's see the output. What is the output? See, I got null. I got null. So here I got the output null, not this object. Why? Because user data variable is null initially. After 2 seconds, this value will be given to user data. But 2 seconds, it won't wait here only. It will keep this task in progress. It will jump to the next task. It will execute this. And you got null as output. This I don't want. I want this user data in the output. So it should wait 2 seconds here only, and then it should execute this. Then how to achieve this? So that's where your promises will help you. Only schedulers, if you are using like this example, only scheduler set timeout if you are using, then what will happen? Yes, you will get non-blocking behavior, but they cannot handle the data flow. They cannot handle the dependencies. What is the dependency over here? See, this is the dependency. This instruction is depend on this data. Once you get the data, then you execute it. Why you are executing immediately? So such dependencies won't be handled with set timeout. I hope I am clear with these two questions. Okay. Whenever in interviews you will face some questions based on promises, these questions only they will ask you. Whatever the documents, examples we are executing, same you will face in the interviews. Not any other question than this, for sure. Okay. So I hope I'm clear with why promises. Because to remove the callback hell. Okay, understood. Now fourth one, let's understand what is promise object. Actual promise we are going to understand now. Okay. So promise is nothing but one object only which represents the eventual result of asynchronous operation. What is asynchronous operation? The operation which takes time to finish the execution. The operation which gives the result in future. Correct, right? For example, giving our clothes to the tailor to stitch it, to make the dress. So tailor immediately won't give the response, right? After 2 days, 3 days, they will provide our dress. So result we will get after certain delay. So giving our clothes to the tailor is a synchronous operation. Okay. So in the similar way, in programming world also, we have some asynchronous operations which takes time to finish the execution. For example, fetching the data from database. Frontend will send the request to fetch the data. Now fetching the data is time taking process. Immediately we can't get all the data. So such asynchronous operations will return the result in future, either success or failure. So promises are used to handle such asynchronous operations only. Okay. So 3 states of promises will be there, like pending, fulfilled and rejected state. So these are the questions which will be asked in the interviews. Now in this example, we will understand everything about this, what is promise and what are the 3 states of promise. Okay. So let's get started. So here I have written some points about promise. Let's go through it. See, promises are used to handle asynchronous task. Okay. Whether task is finished successfully or failed. Now we will understand how we can create the promise next. Let's create one file first. I'll just save this code. I'm going to create one new file with the name, as we are going to create our custom promises, and we will discuss about fetch method also. Custom promise.js. First, let's understand about fetch method, which returns promise. Then we'll discuss about the custom promise. We have something called as fetch method, which returns promise object. Fetch means fetching the data from database. Okay. So this fetch method always returns the promise object. Let's try it out with this. Let's say here I have declared one variable data and now I'm using the fetch method. Fetch the data. What is the URL? So we have to provide the URL over here. So let me just copy the URL from here. See, fetch. Or we will give one variable name as a response also. Not an issue. Let's paste it over here. Okay. So I'm saying fetch the data. From which URL? This is one public URL. Okay. Response will come into this variable. What is the response? Let's print it and let's check it. Console.log. Print the value of response. We'll save the code. I'll just clear this. Okay. By mistake, I have executed this file. Let's execute this file. Node. What is the file name? Fetch custom promise.js. Yeah. So what output I got? I got something called as promise, which is in pending state. Now let's understand what is the meaning of this. What we understood, promises are used to handle asynchronous operation. Okay, the operation which takes time. So here this is asynchronous operation. I'm saying, front end is saying, fetch the data from this URL. Now fetching data means request should go to the database and then response will come back, which takes time. So fetch method immediately return one promise object. So fetch method is saying, okay, you want to fetch the data from this URL, but it will take time. So take this promise. Means I promise you I will give the result in future after some time. That result can be success or failure. I will be able to fetch all the data successfully, or after 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it will return error message that I failed to fetch the data. So that will take time to return the result. Success or failure takes time. So fetch method will say, okay, you asked me to fetch the data from this URL, I will fetch, but it will take time. So in meantime, you take this promise, which is in pending state, As of now, it has not been confirmed whether we got successfully data or we got error message. So this is how promises will be returned by the fetch method. Okay, understood. Now let's say after certain time, we successfully got the data. Then we will write response dot then method. See, promise object is present in which method? Sorry, which variable? Response variable. In this variable only one promise is there, which is in pending state. So I am saying promise, which is in pending state, if you got resolved, means if you successfully fetch the data, then what to do with that data? Then give that data into this variable. Which variable? Let's give one variable name as data only. Give that data into this variable. So I'll just write console.log, print whatever is present in data. Okay. If you failed to fetch the data, then whatever the error message you have, give that error message into the variable. Which variable? Let's say we have provided one variable with the name ERR. ERR. Okay, that's all. First time if you are learning promises, it seems difficult. Once you create your own custom promises, you will be comfortable for sure. Only practice is required, guys. That's all. Okay. So now let's understand one more time. I'm saying fetch the data from this URL. So immediately fetch will return one promise in pending state, which is present in response variable. So on the next line, as a developer, I have to handle the scenario now. As a developer, I am writing whatever the promise is present in this variable, if it is successfully resolved, means successfully if I get the output, then give that data into this variable. If not, give the error message in this variable. That's all. Let me show you the output now. I'll just clear this. See, initially promise is in pending state. Promise is in pending state. And after certain time, you successfully got the data. How? Because status code is 200. Status text is okay. Means okay, you got the data. Now, how to read that data? That is different story. In the upcoming sessions, we will learn how to handle HTTP request. As of now, do remember we successfully got the data. You can attach one message also over here like this. Successfully got the data. Okay, like this we can write it. Let's re-execute it. Okay, so you can check we got the message successfully got the data. And what is the response? This is the response. Successfully we got the data. But let's say this URL is only wrong. Purposely what I will do, instead of this typey code, I'll just write CODE. I have removed from the URL. So wrong URL, right? So let's see the error message. Okay, here I'm going to give one string like this failed. Okay, something like this. So now if I execute this, done. Initially, just a minute, I'll just save this code. I guess I have not saved it. This is also one valid URL only, I guess. I'll just give it as ty. Okay, let's make this URL as invalid. Okay, if URL is valid, of course you will get the data. I'll run this. Yeah, now you check. Initially, promise is in pending state. Okay, it will return the promise here. But after some time, it will realize URL is only wrong. So dot catch method will be executed automatically. I'm saying if this promise is in failed, rejected state, you execute dot catch, error message will come in ERR and we have printed it. See, failed, failed. This is the message we got it over here, here, failed. And after that, this. So here you can check type error, error message is fetch failed. Okay. So promises will be having three states. What are the three states of promise? Initially, promise will be in pending state. Okay. After some time, it will be resolved. If resolved, dot then method will be called immediately where data will come. If it is rejected, then which method will be called? Dot catch method will be called. This is how promises works. Okay. So what will happen? Promise returned by fetch is present in response. After some time, if promise is resolved, then dot then method will be executed. Dot then method will accept one callback function as argument. If promise is in rejected state, dot catch method will be executed. I hope I'm clear with this. Okay, what are the three states of promises? Pending, resolved, and rejected. If promise is resolved, then method will be executed automatically. And promise is rejected means dot catch method will be executed. Okay, I hope I'm clear with this. So let's understand this with the help of one simple scenario, like how dot then and dot catch works. I'll just show you over here. See, with the help of this scenario. Okay, I hope it is visible. So let's say we have sent one request to fetch the data by using fetch method. Okay. So immediately we will get promise in pending state. Just now we have observed. So as a developer, we have to write the further code. If that promise, whatever we got, if it is in resolved state, means successfully we got all the data. So that data properly we will arrange like this. As a developer, we will write the complete code, CSS code. We will style it properly like this. But let's say promise is in rejected state, failure. So as a developer, we have to handle the front end like this. We will display one message, failed to fetch the data. So this is how we handle the promises returned by the fetch method. I hope I am clear with this. Okay. So now next we need to understand how we can create our own promises, custom promises. Okay. Consuming the promise means dot then for success and dot catch for failure. These complete notes I have provided over here. Okay. So now we need to understand how we can create our own promises. As of now, what we did, we consumed the promise given by fetch method. This is called as consuming the promise. Okay. Consuming promise. So we consumed the promise given by fetch method. Now I want to create my own promise. Let's learn how we can create our own promises. If you are thinking, ma'am, why we need to create our own promises? Once we start building our different projects in React.js, in MERN stack journey, there you will understand. As of now, just understand the syntax of creating our own promises. Okay. So to create our own promise, we have something called as promise constructor function. Constructor functions are used to create objects, right? So this promise constructor function we have, built-in function, we are going to use to create our own promises. We call it as a custom promise as well. Custom promise. The way we want, we can create it. Okay. So usually these custom promises we create to give some validation logics. For example, let's take one example over here. I have one variable with the name fetch data variable. In this variable, I am going to store one new promise. See, new is the keyword which is used to create the object. Object will be created for which function, which constructor function? Promise constructor function. Okay, one object will be created. Understood. Now, this promise constructor function, when you are using, you have to pass one callback function over here like this. This function will accept two parameters. One is resolve, next is reject, like this. Okay, understood. Now inside this, what I'll do, I'll just write resolve. As I have told, initially promise will be in pending state. So next I'm saying state of the promise, I don't want pending, I want in resolved state. So here I'll just give one message, or I'll pass some data like this. Name is Priya. This is the data which got fetched. And next age is, let's say 29, something like this. One JavaScript object I have created over here. Okay. So one new promise object will be created, which is present in fetch data method. And what is the state of this promise? It is resolved. Really? Let's check it out. Console.log. I'm going to print fetch data like this. Now if I execute this code, see, this is the promise. We got it in return. What is present in fetch data? In fetch data, one promise object is present and the state of that promise is resolved. You can check this data, we got it. If you don't want it resolved, let's keep it in comment. I want to give the state of promise as a rejected. See, rejected. And here I'll just write promise rejected. You can give one error message, string value, whatever you want. Okay, promise rejected like this. So now what will happen? Let's try it out. The output. Yeah. So you can check promise rejected. This message, I got it over here. What is the state of promise? Promise rejected. We have to consume these states. Means we have to consume the promises. Dot then dot catch method. We haven't used it yet. Okay. We'll use it next. But I hope I'm clear with how we have provided the promises. So now this resolve reject directly I don't want to give. I want to give it into set timeout. Okay. So this is the example I'm going to use. Let me check. Let's use the same example. Success true. If it is true, okay, we'll go with the same. Okay, let's do that. Now inside this, I'm going to declare one variable. First, let's take set timeout. Set timeout, which will accept one callback function. This function will be executed after the delay of 2 seconds. Okay. Inside this function, I'm going to declare one variable with the name, let's say success. Value of this success will be true. Okay, understood. Now I'm going to write one conditional block. If whatever is present in success, if it is true, then state of the promise will be in resolved state and return this data successfully. What data? You can provide actually any data. I'm giving one JavaScript object over here. Okay. Else, if it is not true, then the state of this promise will be rejected. And here I'll write no data found. Okay, like this. When promise is ready, you can check it like this. If you are confused, pause the video and try to understand this. Very simple code I have written. One promise object is there in which set timeout function is present. State of the promise will be either resolved or rejected, right? So after 2 seconds, if success is true, state of the promise resolved, and this is the successfully data you will get. If success is false, state of the promise will be rejected and this string value error message you will get it. Really? Okay, understood. Now what I'll do, I'll just try to print whatever is present in fetch data variable. Now in this variable only promise object is present. You can give the variable name as a P1 also. In P1, promise object is present. Okay, not an issue. I'll just save this code. Now let's check the output. See, promise is in pending state. Can you check over here? Because after 2 seconds, your promise will be resolved or rejected. In that 2 seconds, it is in pending state, right? And non-blocking behavior we have achieved here. This instruction will be immediately executed. It won't wait for this to complete the execution. Immediately this will be executed. So when P1 promise object got created, it got printed, which is in initially pending state. After 2 seconds, it is in resolved state. So consume the promise. How to consume the promise? Like this. See, P1 dot then method we have to use. Dot then method. You can write it like this also or on the next line. Whatever the promise is present in P1, if it is in resolved state, so data will come in this variable. So I'll just write console.log. Print that data. If it is in rejected state, then error message we are returning, correct, right? That error message will come over here. ERR we can give like this. And we'll just write console.log. Print the value of ERR. Okay, done. So now what is the output? Let's execute this. See, initially promise is in pending state. After 2 seconds, we got this data. How? Because after 2 seconds, state of the promise is resolved. Which promise? P1 promise. If P1 is in resolved state, we are already consuming. Automatically dot then method will be called. And whatever the data you are passing here, that data will come into the data variable. After 2 seconds, if promise is rejected, which promise? P1 promise. So we are already consuming it, right? So dot catch method is present. So whatever the error message you are passing, that will come in ERR variable. Really? Let's try it out. Success, we will make it as a false. If we keep the success false, then what will happen? Promise will be in rejected state. Let's try it out the output. See, initially it is in pending state, and after that I got the message no data found. So we created our own custom promise, and inside this we have given one validation logic. Okay, we are saying if the success is false, state of the promise rejected after 2 seconds, and if P1 is in rejected state, dot catch will be called. If P1 is in resolved state, dot then will be called automatically. This is what we call it as a creating our own custom promises. Okay, I hope I am clear with this. So in the interviews, if they are asking you these two questions, first, what is promise? This should be your answer. If they are asking you what are the 3 states of promise, this should be your answer. If they are asking you what is custom promise and how to create it, then this should be your answer. And this is the example of creating custom promise and consuming it. Okay. So these are the important question answer, interview question answers, and the examples which you can use as it is in the interview. See this example. They will select for sure. Okay, if they are asking you what is promise object, so you can use this fetch method. You can tell how as a developer we handle success scenario and failure scenario. Okay, so if promise is in resolved state, dot then method. If promise is in rejected state, then dot catch method. Okay, I hope I'm clear with this. So fourth one we have completed. Now we need to understand that your function also can return a promise. Sometimes in the interviews, they will ask the question like this. How does a function return a promise and how do we handle the result? Means like this. Usually we won't directly create the promise like this. We wrap them in the function. What is the meaning? Let's see. I'll just remove this part. And here I'm going to create one function. Let's say the function name is get user data, something like this. One function name is present. Now inside this function, I'm going to give this complete logic as it is with return keyword. Return what? This new promise object, like this. Done. So this function will return the promise object. Okay, understood. So let me declare one variable with the name P1, and here I'm calling the get user data function. Now what will happen? I'm calling this function. Control will go inside this function. What this function is returning? One promise object which is in pending state. That object is present in P1. So now how we have to consume it? We have to write the same logic. Whatever is present in P1, initially if you print the P1, see console.log, if you print the P1, your promise will be in pending state as usual. See, promise is in pending state, okay, where it is, here it is. But after 2 seconds, your promise will come in rejected state. which we have not handled using dot catch method. So let's handle in the similar way, p1 dot then method, which will be executed if promise is in resolved state. Okay, I can write console.log whatever is present in data variable, let's print it. Okay, dot catch method, and let's provide one variable err. Console.log, print the value of err. Done, that's all. So let's test this now. I'll just clear this and let's execute. You can check initially promise is in pending state, but after 2 seconds promise is in rejected state. Dot catch method executed. So usually we return the promises from the functions like this. See, from the functions. So whatever function has returned, that promise object is in P1. If P1 is resolved, dot then, if rejected, dot catch. Okay, I hope I'm clear with this. Fifth example. So in the interviews, if they are asking you about this, you should know this. And as a developer also, as a MERN stack developer also, multiple times we are going to use this syntax in our projects. So you should understand this syntax. Okay.